Good morning, guys, and welcome back to your English 2 classroom. Today is October the 19th. This is our second full week of remote learning due to a COVID spike on campus. We'll be back here a week from today together. Everything goes according to plan, and I think it will. But remember that you've got to get your work done. School is not canceled. We've been planning for this remote instruction ever since the beginning of the year, and everybody knows what to do and how to access it. And of course, you can ask me if you have any questions. So the first thing that we're going to look at, as always, is your agenda for the 6 weeks. So you've got all of your assignments for this week and next week. I'll be working on the third 6 weeks this week while y'all are gone. So we're going to do something a little bit different this 6 weeks. One of the assignment options in every unit in our textbook is to do some independent reading. And in your state TEKS, your Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills that you're supposed to do, independent reading is part of that. So you have 4 selections that you can choose from, and you're going to read 2 of them and mark them up, meaning taking notes, making annotations to show me that you've read them. There are no other activities to do. There are tests available. I've thought about giving the tests if I think students are not reading these selections. So that might be something to consider. It's very important that you do your independent reading. And so if I think that students aren't, just by looking at the annotations, either they're not doing the assignments at all, or the annotations don't seem to match up with what you read, then it's a possibility that I could say, okay, I'm going to print out these 4 tests, and which 2 did you read, and here, take these 2 tests and maybe combine them as one test grade. So that's an option. But for right now, let's just be optimistic and say everybody's going to read it, and we won't worry about taking the test over them. So today you're going to read one of the independent reading selections that you have to choose from, and tomorrow you're going to read the other one. So I may make a short video tomorrow just reminding you of what to do, but you can use this video as the official instructions for what you do for independent reading, okay? So let's see how you get to that. I'm going to look at my high school user test account, and you go to your tab at the top and click on Discover. This is a way that you can get to any of your lessons in Unit 2 without having to go click on the lesson. I don't really pay attention to whether you submit the lesson or not, or marked it as done. I actually go into your textbook, each person individually, and scroll through to see what you did. So it doesn't really matter if you marked it. One more thing I wanted to address concerning that, and that is when you look at your assignments, let's say you accidentally clicked something done that you didn't do and you need to go back and work on it. Well, you can go into there just like I'm doing here and scroll through Unit 2 and work on anything you need to. But you can also go into your done folder, and let's say, oh, I marked this collaborate and compare as done, but I didn't finish it. Well, actually this one. So you can always go in and open any of these that you may not have finished but accidentally marked it as done. So just remember, marking something as done does not give you credit for it at all. I go through and look at the actual work that you did. Make sure you do not copy another person's work. Make sure you do not get it off the internet and copy and paste it. I want your own ideas, your own thoughts on those analyze the text questions and those read questions. Okay? All right, so that's enough of that for right now. Let's scroll through to your independent reading selections. So we've read your 4, or actually 5, because 2 of them were paired. We've read your 5 class assignments. These were the last 2 that we did together. And now we're here. Now we're here on independent reading. So reader's choice. Setting a purpose. Continue your exploration of the essential question. Remember, the essential question is, how does our point of view shape what we think we know? Read the descriptions to see which text grabs your interest, and they're up here. You can scroll through. So I'm not going to read all this to you, but you can scroll through right here and see which 4 selections you have to choose from. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. and you decide which one of those you want to read, or you could go through and read all 4 and then mark up the 2 that you want to mark up. It's up to you. So use your notice and note strategies. We've practiced noticing and note signposts for numbers and stats, word gaps, and big questions about a text. Actually, we haven't talked about those too much, but we went over them all together. So these are ways that you can mark up the text. So on each selection that you read, the 2 independent, you have to do at least 10 annotations. Now, guys, that is a very minimum number. I could require a lot more, but I'm just going to require 10 notes. And you know how to take a note in your textbook. You highlight it. Well, mine's not highlighting. So if I want to do this poem, so I highlight it. So I might highlight stanza 1 and say, there isn't a particular rhyme scheme. And remember, when I'm reviewing your text, these all pop up to me, with me, for me, I should say, in a panel over to the side, like this. So I'll be able to just go through and see when you did it, what time you did it. I can see how long you spent working on a particular thing. I can go back and look and see when the last time was that you did anything in your textbook. So just keep in mind, I don't go through there and, try to figure out, exactly what everybody's doing. I don't have time for that. But I'm just saying, if you tell me, well, I did this and it's not showing up, this textbook is very, very accurate. I haven't had any problems with that at all, with people's work not showing up. Okay, so let's look again at ways that you can mark up the text. These notice and note strategies are things that we want to notice and note and annotate. So contrasts and contradictions, an aha moment where someone realizes something, a tough question, and this gives you examples over here. Words of the wiser, we've talked about that. Again and again, repetition. So if you wanted to mark this up, you would say, there's again and again in paragraph 4. So you might say this phrase was repeated 5 times. This is again and again, signpost. Okay. Memory moment. And then questioning stance, big questions, contrast and contradictions, extreme and absolute language, numbers and stats. We had a lot of those in the last 2 selections that we read. Quotes, word gaps. So you can go through there, and those are not the only things that you can mark up. You can actually just do what you used to do, like last year in Miss Edwards' class when you would read something. You can say you can do a soapstone analysis, like saying what's the purpose, the subject, what's the theme, the author. You can mark similes and metaphors and personification and hyperbole, any kind of figurative language. You can just ask a question. You can say, I don't understand what this means. And then maybe later on you can say, okay, now I get it. Please don't just go through and say, I don't understand this. What does this mean? I don't understand this. Just don't do 10 of those. Okay. So you have to show me evidence of reading it. I don't know really what else to say other than that. It's very subjective as far as how I'm going to give you credit for that. But if I don't feel like that you've really gone through there and analyzed and tried to really think about the text and find some of your notice and note signposts or some figurative language, some things that show me that you read it and understand it, then you won't get full credit. Okay? So I think that's all I want to tell you about that right now. You choose 2 of the 4. You can either do both of them today or you can do one today and one tomorrow. You have to have at least 10 annotations, and they have to be meaningful annotations. They have to be highlighted or underlined, and there has to be a note with it showing me that you were thinking about the text, identifying literary techniques used by the author and things like that. Okay? If you want to go back and look at your signposts, and really study those again, if you go to Discover, and I believe it's Vocabulary Studio. No, it is not. Let's try again. Writing Studio. No, but it's the reading studio. Sorry, I should have looked at this ahead of time. Well, I'm just going to have to look on my side. I know this is assigned to you somewhere in there, but I'm trying to find your signpost. I'll assign it to you again. I'll find it and put it in your ed. It's just those things for you to read, and there are things that you can mark up in the text. Sorry that took so long, guys. I should have looked at that ahead of time. All right. If you have any questions today about how to do the assignment, it's pretty self-explanatory. But if you do have any questions about it, let me know. I will be grading everything today and putting it in the grade book and getting your grade updated. I'm about to put your assignment in for the day for today, which is what I just explained to you, and I'll attach this video. All right, that's all I've got for you right now, and I will talk to you later.